Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Luke Who's Talking, a question and answer video that I release every Thursday at 6 p.m. So make sure you put a question down below. You can ask me whatever you like and I'll answer it next week. Alright, let's get going. Question from Shenanigans about my work again. Is it easy to find work as you travel, or will you rely on local work that you've already built up? Well, I'm going to be staying, when we live in the van, we are going to be staying local because I have a daughter who lives in a town 15 minutes away. Becca's parents live here and Becca's work is here, so we are going to stay in the same sort of area anyway. So yeah, I'm going to use, the bulk of it is my regular customers whose patios and driveways I clean once a year. But I do pick up new work every year. I do pick up new regular customers every year. But the beauty of having a van like this is that I could, for instance, go and park up in Scotland somewhere and take on local jobs. Chuck an advert out in the paper up there, and you know, I can work anywhere with this van. But yeah, we'll be staying quite local, so I'm able to keep my clients. Horst has only one question. Do you think we can meet up this year so I can spend a few beers with you? Oh, I hope we can. I hope we can. I can't wait. Dan Hadley from Dan's Van Build. Have you considered moving all your work gear into a trailer so all of your van can be for living? No, I haven't thought that. Driving this van into customers' houses is ridiculous anyway. It's too big. And some customers don't have driveways, or if they do, they're really small. So my van is massive enough. So trying to maneuver a trailer in these, you know, into these little streets and things, I think that'll be more work, really. Yeah, I know you can drop the trailer off and go and park the van somewhere else. I think that's more effort. I think I'm just going to buy a secondary van just for work when I can afford it, and yeah, just have a camper van and a work van. Sam Courier. Hi Luke, great episode. I have a question with you. With your new tyres, the BF Goodriches that I've got, did you notice any major increase in road noise or any noticeable miles per gallon change, MPG change? Noise, no. It was a little bit of an unfair test though, because I went from normal road tyres to some seriously chunky off-road tyres, which were awful. I'll put a card up here if you want to go and watch the nightmare I had with these tyres. So I went from road tyres to those really noisy tyres to my BFGs, and switching from the noisy ones to the Goodriches, I mean, they was silent. They were absolutely silent. I don't hear the tyres at all. These Goodriches, I just don't hear them at all. They are all terrain rather than just off-road, so they are meant for road use as well. So miles per gallon, no, I didn't notice a difference. My van does about 28, 30, something like that. I think, last time I checked, I could be wrong on that. But no, they're amazing tyres. Here's a question from Philip Evans. Hi Luke, I noticed that you are aware of people walking past your van while posting on YouTube. Have you thought about privacy glass or tint the windows? These windows were supposed to be 80% limo tint or something. They were supposed to be tinted when they fitted them. Firstly, well, I'm not impressed with the guy that fitted them. He did a really bad job. They leaked numerous times. They don't seem to be leaking at the moment, unless I spray them with a pressure washer or, you know, a high power hose. So that they leak. They're not tinted. They open opposite way to each other. This guy was just a joke. I won't use him again. I don't recommend that guy. So they were supposed to be tinted, but now that I've lived with them not tinted, I really like them. I'm really glad I didn't tint them, actually, because of the amount of light that they let in. Yes, people can see into your van, especially when it gets dark outside and you've got lights on in here, but yeah, they just don't restrict you looking out and seeing all the views, and they let all that light in, so I do like that. We'll see I don't know what I'm going to decide to do with the next van, but I'm quite happy with the glass for now. I don't want to tint it. I just get embarrassed when people walk past and they see me talking to myself. I don't think anyone likes that, really. The only person brave enough to do that I've seen on YouTube is Darren, the Urban Motorhome. In fact, one of my videos where my wife was making my curtains for me, I'll put a little card up here. You can see her walking down a busy town high street with the GoPro like this, talking to the thing. I don't even do that. I can't do that when people are around. But yeah, I just get embarrassed. Because, you know, growing up, you used to get the mick taken out of you if you were caught talking to yourself. Maybe that's where it comes from. But I've always spoken out loud to myself. Driving to work, I'll have a conversation out loud with myself, imagining either I'm talking to a customer or you guys. I rehearse some of these lines. You wouldn't think it, but yeah, I just get embarrassed. Second part to Philip's question was about the weight issues. Would you advise uprating the shocks and springs, especially when parking off grid? I would like to do that. I would like to upgrade the suspension and class it as a different weight in a different weight category. I don't know the first thing about doing it. I'd like to raise the van up, get some big springs on it and stuff as well, but I don't know I'm going to be able to do all that. Probably not in this van. Ian has answered a good question. What is your favourite tech item you own and why? It's got to be the phone, isn't it? The phone is just... You can't live without a phone these days. So I'm controlling my GoPro that's filming this whilst looking through these comments. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone still, which is up in the flat. So the phone is probably the best. If you're talking about like camera gear, it's going to have to be my new GoPro or my drone. Probably the drone is a lot of fun. If you're talking about van techie things, my heater. Oh, the heater, the fridge, or the batteries, I can't decide. But good question, thank you. Here's a question from Gareth Thomas. If you're planning on living in the van full time, do you regret not building a toilet shower room? No, I don't regret it. The room, the amount of space that they take up. Yes, it is nice to have privacy when going to the toilet. Yeah, I get that. I like to poo and pee in private. But, I mean, who doesn't? But the space it takes up. I like having an open van, a massive long sofa, and now the seat swivels over there. It's a nice social van, nice social space. And we're part of gyms, and we go swimming when the swimming pools are open and the gyms are open. Becca goes to the gym all the time. I go swimming with my daughter all the time. So I'll shower there. We shower there. We would shower at our parents' house, Becca's parents' house, who are local. So toilet issue. The toilet, everyone gets a bit uncomfortable with going to the toilet. My wife and I definitely draw the line at doing number twos in front of each other. So, or, if everything's open on a normal day, you can just go find a public toilet. So no, I don't regret building the toilet shower room. As I've said, I'd like to build one in the future, just to challenge myself to build a wet, watertight room with a hot shower. Also, you got to carry all that water as well for a shower. Thanks for the question. Question from Van Life Regis, would you fit alloy wheels to your van? Bear in mind they'd have to be weight rated. No. I never wanted to buy alloys for this van because I like that rugged kind of overland off-road look, the black bull bars and the black ladders and roof rack and black wheels and chunky tires. I wanted it to go for that kind of rugged look. So I quite like the look of painted steel wheels for my van. Another question about upgrading my suspension and brakes to increase the weight class. I'd love to know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. If someone can help me do that, then I'll definitely consider doing that. If anyone wants to do that with me, for me. Question from Carl Jones. Would you paint your van, and what colour and why? Yes, I would love my van to be painted. I've always wanted to paint it grey, some kind of grey. I actually quite like the whole white and black thing. I know everyone's vans are white and everyone tries to avoid having their van white because, it's standard. But I like the two-tone thing of my van. So black bumpers, black bars, black ladders, black jerry can on the back. I like the whole two-tone white and black thing. So I would even consider painting my van in white. White, like Raptor paint or something like that. I'd like to do that, possibly. Yeah, it's just such a big van and painting is my worst job, so I don't enjoy it. Gareth Thomas has also asked, are you going to fit a swivel base to the driver's seat? Is it even possible with the location of the handbrake? I thought about it from the beginning to swivel the driver's seat, because it would have been nice to face, for the two front seats to face each other with the table in the middle, but firstly, the handbrake is in the way, and even when the handbrake was lowered, you still wouldn't be able to swivel the base. You still wouldn't be able to swivel the chair. So you'd either have to lower the handbrake, try and reposition the handbrake, which I've heard is a faff, or raise the seat up so that it does that somehow. But and also in my van, my sofa is now built right up against the seat, so I couldn't do it. But I don't. Yeah, it's too much work. I think I'd like to do it one day. I'd like to have both seats facing the back. It's an extra seat, isn't it? It's an extra seat. Although I'd lose a bit of sofa if I turn that driver's seat around to face this way. You'd need somewhere for your legs to go for that person sat on that seat. So I'd have a shorter sofa. So I've actually got a 6 foot long sofa, well, longer than a 6 foot sofa, massive sofa here. So I think it's the best arrangement for a lot of reasons. A question about security, kill switches and preventions from getting your van broken into and stolen. I am working on a video about security because I do certain things in my van. I have certain things that stop it being stolen, but there's still a lot more things I want to add because I'm always worried about it. This is a great question from Wheelie Happy Home. Hello, which tool do you use the most in your van building life? And if you didn't have it, would you buy exactly the same one or have something better? Now, that's a great question. There's lots of tools that you use all the time. But I think when it comes to building, if you didn't have this tool, it would be, I don't know whether to say impossible or extremely difficult. If you didn't have a tape measure, I don't know how you would build anything. So every single thing in this van has been measured for. You know what I mean? You just need a tape measure. And you know, I was given this one by Greg Jessenbecker. Greg number 2, as we affectionately call him. Lovely man, gave me this decent tape measure. But before that, I was using real cheap ones. And I've just noticed that there was a little button there. I didn't even notice that. There's a little button there that stops it sliding in, as well as this one. Oh. So yeah, a decent tape measure, because one, it will last long, and 2, everything in your van needs to be measured. Oh, and clamps. You need clamps. I love them. I'm just so glad I bought them. Thank you for your question. Martin Smith has also asked about security. What extra security are you planning to get for your van to ease your worries? I have a couple of measures in place to stop people driving the van off. One I'll tell you about, which is a pedal clamp. So I can lock down the pedal so you can't drive the van off. But there is another thing I have on my van that stops people driving it off. I'm not going to say any more than that. But extra external locks, I've got them, I've bought them, I've painted one of them. Big, you know, those big external locks that you can put on the doors. I just need to get around to fitting them. And then that will stop people getting in through the doors, but then people can still get in through the windows if they want to. I have thought about going for that zombie apocalypse police raid van bars on the outside of my windows, because I think they would look pretty cool, but also they'd block a bit of light, and you wouldn't be able to stick your head out the windows to have a look around. Not that I do it often anyway, so maybe I could get them black bars, them riot bars for my windows. That would look pretty sick. But yeah, I've got a few other security things come in as well, trackers and this, that and the other. And I think that is it. That will be all the questions for this week's Luke Who's Talking. So big thank you to everyone that asked questions. I'm enjoying this series a lot. I hope you are. And if you want it to continue, please put a question down below. Ask me whatever you like. It can be about personal life as well as van life. So yeah, drop me a question down below and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.